Some midnight reviews. We've just gone and seen Guardians of the Galaxy. Woohoo! Yes, fucking awesome. Marvel have stripping it again. They've done it well, and as always, Film Earth. That was great.
It was brilliant. In fact, this is my favourite so far. The sequence. In fact, this one gets into my top 5 movies of lifetime.
Really?
Yeah, with Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade and a couple of others. But yeah, it's definitely in there.
Oh man, I think I would definitely say Guardians of the Galaxy is one of the best Marvel movies just in general. I would think in all of the ones.
It is like the top 5. The Hill, Sean Connery,
really
is my favourite movie of all time.
Oh, fair enough.
Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade, number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3 is, oh god, what's... Yeah, I'm terrible.
You're not going to remember your own 5. That's why I hate giving like a top. If someone tells me what's your top 5, top 10, it changes so often.
Because my brain's just literally stopped and went, you don't remember those ones.
It's like easy enough to remember, like, what's your favourite movie all the time? I can pick one.
Well, it's number 5 in my top 5, and I've watched it 5 times now.
Oh man, yeah. No, like the last time I did watched a movie that many times, it was Scott Pilgrim, and I actually dragged people to go and see it. Like, I was willing to pay to get people to go and see it.
Oh yeah. No.
And it actually needed it. The Guardians of the Galaxy does not need your repeated custom because it is done so goddamn well.
It's done well, but it deserves to do even better.
Well, I mean, it is like so very divergent. I mean, it reminded me whenever Thor came out, because Thor was fantastic and showed a whole new element of the actual Marvel community and universe, and again, it all fits in perfectly fine.
The thing I like is it fits in, but Guardians stands as its own movie.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's so few linkages to the rest of the world except for that. I mean, we got to see Thanos properly rather than actually that smirking little grin that we got at the tail end of Avengers.
I think I heard someone complain that Thanos didn't look badass enough. And
really?
It was some. It was.
IGN. Oh, alright, well, we ignore them, massive marketing budgets, but not the smartest and intelligent community.
If you're as strong as the Hulk, or stronger, and as smart as Banner, you don't need to throw hissy fits.
No, that's the thing, but that's exactly what he does in this movie whenever we do see Thanos. You're like an impudent child.
Yeah.
It's just he's so somebody who's so refined and comfortable in heart. It's the same as Darkseid. Darkseid, you never see him without his hands behind his back.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I don't even need to be ready to hit you.
Yeah. You're not going to get me with the first blow.
Nobody's taking him out in the first punch.
No. Open hell.
Ronan kind of has that rule as well. But like, think about it, we'll take it from the top.
Right.
The movie opens in 1988.
Yeah.
And Peter Quill as a young child, and that was spoiler. Oh yeah, no, this is going to be spoiler. Like, I mean, just all over this. Spoilers everywhere, because I mean, it is a review. It is a look at the movie and a look at how it relates into the rest of the films.
Of course.
You know.
So as you were saying,
Quill's mother's death in the opening scene of the movie, and
it was very emotional. I was.
Yeah.
At one point it was a bit with the grandfather, and then I was sitting there going, but yeah, it's a kid, for love of God, it's a child.
Oh yeah.
And
saying goodbye to his mom.
Yeah, and that was really well done.
It links in the soundtrack so quickly, and makes it very, very relevant to the character. It makes his regret and his like a desire to run away. Like, meaning he literally is running away and then gets taken away as part of his running away routine.
Yeah.
I mean, how far away can you get? The other side of the galaxy?
Well, yeah, that's pretty far. It's pretty far.
But the that intro kind of like tails off. I mean, who was it that plays the grandfather as well? Because I know that actor and I've seen him in so many things.
Oh God, I can't remember his name.
That's the problem. I mean, there's so many people that I recognize faces. Don't be that bad. Oh no, we are going by our own knowledge of who we can remember and work with.
Oh yeah, I could easily Google my top 5.
This is no text Tuesdays, you know.
Right, fine. No Tech Tuesdays, possibly released on Thursday. But yeah, so that then lovely transition with the spaceship, and then it just cuts into a random desolate planet. Beautiful sequence. Really, you got a sense of, oh no, did we land like Mars or something? Because this is messed up.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually like active guys and everything else. Yeah. I mean, and we get introduced, like then the first scene, you don't know if you don't know the character, you don't know the design. I mean, but that's the thing. You must assume like 70-80% of people going to see Guardians don't know who any of those characters are.
But that's the reason I like this. You don't have to. I've read all the Guardians of the Galaxy comics. I've read the history.
I know of them.
Yeah, I know all the character designs. I've been following the recent comic book run, which is epic. If you've liked the movie, buy the comics.
Are they kind of like are they doing the whole like fitted into the movie?
Not quite. There's design similarities between the two. However, the comics have the same vibe, the same humour, the same. There's this beautiful moment. The comics join over more than the movies do, but in the first, I think 6 issues of the new Guardians of the Galaxy run, Tony Iron Man Stark joins up with them because he's a bit miffed after the whole A versus X sequence.
Oh yes, no, I've seen that. I've seen the circulars and stuff. I've actually seen Tony as part of the Guardians.
Guess what Tony does?
Gives everybody armor.
No, comes on to Gamora. That goes well.
That's a good start.
They don't say how badly it goes, but from the look on her face and his slinking off, I think he was premature.
Oh.
That's the only way I can explain that being that bad.
Hey, well, she forced it out of him.
Anyway, no, Rocket takes the piss out of him the entire way. You call this armor? This is a children's toy. Here, do you want me to do something with this? But I
like that. And that's Rocket as a character.
Right, we're jumping ahead.
We're jumping ahead because we're introduced to Quill in that opening scene with him dancing along.
I love that. I love that immediate irreverence. This sort of. I just want to get into my. I'm sorry. This is a big confession that'll come out probably some point after I dance on my night shifts. From about 3:30 to 4:30, I'm listening to music, boogieing around. I do my rhymes pretty much that style.
Just kicking people out of the way as you're like trying to tighten up.
No, I have never kicked anyone. Don't give the crazy people ideas.
Okay. Accusations will occur.
Yes. No, just boogieing about, dancing, playing with the mops and stuff, and Yeah.
But I mean that introduced pretty cool. I mean we had the Star-Lord, they see the mask. I knew it was armor beforehand. Like as soon as I see it take off, and you see your pretty cool. We see Chris. I'm actually pretty
Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt. I was going to say Pine for some reason. Chris Pratt. Yeah. Chris Pratt looks fucking bar. I mean the comparison from the young boy to the grown man as well.
Yeah.
And he still has like cheeky boy kind of charm with him. So end up that entire bit walking through, popping the locks. It's actually the set at the time. You get to see pretty much who he is and the character and powers as well as like his equipment. It's very, very quickly gets to show all the gadgets, shows he's a bit of a rogue because he's actually like, popping locks and breaking into places. You couldn't have actually asked for a better intro to a character rather than like the Robert Downey Jr. kind of like just swanning around with a cocktail in his hand while sort of showing people missiles. Yeah. You know, that kind of like this it.
Oh yeah.
They nailed the character introduction so well.
I think they nailed them pretty well for most of them. One I'm not entirely happy with was, and this is now, I love this movie, Dort, in of itself. This is the Marvel comic book collector coming out. Groot is actually ridiculously intelligent in the comics, more philosopher genius level, as smart as Rocket. But he's the fibres that make up his vocal cords mean he is actually speaking a very complex, very information heavy language. It's just the way it's expressed, we perceive it as I am Groot.
Yeah, well it's the reason why you see Rocket actually, he understands exactly everything. Yeah,
because eventually it filters in and you get to understand what the character is saying.
Because it seems like as we call it, like, no matter what, he is an ant. He's an ant and like, we have decided you are not orcs. that long natural body, like a creature that well long lived as well. And I'm sure iterations have been changed. The character has like
there is one iteration where he did speak full communication.
And Vin Diesel rocked the shit out of him.
Oh, he was so expressive with that. I was watching it. When he must literally thought of the entire sentence he has to say, what he's trying to express, and then rhythmed it out in saying "I am Groot." Because at one point it does sound like he is saying "ungrateful" with Groot. It's the same sort of of the word, but it's all vowels.
Yeah.
But it's that gap between the vowels.
Yeah, and immediately he's actually like a star character in the movie. People who went and saw the movie with tonight were going like, I want a baby Groot.
Yeah.
Like they want that little toy. There's a character that and everybody in that movie has a great character. I'd say actually the weakest to it would be Gamora and Chris Pratt, but just because Star-Lord and they don't have to play the straight-edge characters to everybody else's kind of lunacy that's in them.
Yes, the three mad people. Groot, he's not mad, he's just, he's a lovable.
Yeah, he's a creature.
Yeah.
And a creature has the nuances.
Rocket is a technological genius who, in the movies, builds things at a speed that would make Stark cry.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's actually because of dexterous rocket fingers. They got tiny little people hands.
He just literally builds all these weapons just out of things that are lying around.
Things that aren't explosive, he makes explosive. That's actually the first one that I like best with.
Yeah. But it is kind of a psychopath.
Yeah, oh no, I mean, they try like property, I mean, that's the chip on the shoulder kind of thing. He's a small guy, he's also a small rodent too.
Yeah.
I mean, fucked with so horribly. I mean, in the original comics, he's less of a science experiment, more of actually like a race of animal, kind of intelligent animal hybrids. I mean, Ronnie's girlfriend is...
Lila, who is mentioned in the... you saw Known Associates,
yeah,
like Lila in it.
Yeah, the rest.
So that she may turn up, or they're just giving a wee name check there for continuity.
Well, I mean, same time, is he, like, what are they going to do now they're traveling off? Like, Rob's going to, I got to see my girl.
The thing is, the comics never fully explained Rocket. They never have. They went, yes, he's a race of creatures that looks like raccoons, however they're not. However, he's not like the rest of his race.
Right.
He's very different.
Oh, so the hyper-intelligence and actually slight psychopathy.
That's not normal.
Because the rest of them, I imagine the rest of them are actually like your old funny tunes, kind of like they're not goofy or mad, but they're actually just like people that are animals. Yeah. And also probably why he's ostracized and like on his own as well. The implication that I actually took from watching the movie, this version of Rocket is like a high evolutionary science experiment. Right, like doing high evolutionary, just doing shit to people all the time anyway. That's what I imagine, like in my head, like going, hey, he is actually a record, and the high evolutionary fucked with him. Because that's what it does a lot.
Yeah. And if Marvel can figure out how to get the high evolutionary away from the X-Men franchise and Sony, more part with them.
Well, they're already going to be bringing Wanda and Peter in, and they lived with the high evolutionary, but they were growing up before they actually were adults. So...
Yeah, but that's still part of the X-Men continuity.
They're in the Avengers.
They were in the Avengers, but that's
pre-Avengers. Sorry, not Avengers, Captain America 2, they were in Drax.
I really like Drax's character. Your boy Batista, I've seen him in that, and I saw a wee bit of him in Chuck. He was in one of the episodes. Yeah. I like that fella as an actor. It's very obvious if you're hiring that boy, you know his limitations as an actor. This boy's never doing Hamlet or anything else of that type. But for that type of role, he's perfect. I can see him becoming another The Rock.
Yeah, I mean, play the type of The Rock has charisma and actually can act. He's a more range.
More of a range. I don't know, there's a couple of the ways your boy's hitting certain marks, comedy-wise. I'm going, he's got timing.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, he's definitely got timing. And that the rest is then just practice.
Yeah, and then also his physicality. He just fills it. Like the first time you see Batista is actually whenever a couple of guys walk away from Gamora's prison cell, and the camera just kind of lifts, pans, and drops down towards him, and he's like, he fills the entire frame before you zoom in. There's a guy just before that actually like threatens Pratt whenever he comes in, and Groot deals with him. And that guy obviously was CGI big. Like that wasn't a real person, and Pratt had to step over a CGI object. When you look at Batista going, it's not that far off that guy's nose. It's fucking close.
But the humour in it was brilliant. It's obvious the writers and the director sort of worked around maybe some of his limitations in a thespian manner. But he's got talent. People have been, smack talking him, and quite frankly, I don't see it. I see him, maybe he needs a couple more refinements, but I think that role.
Perfect. It's just every little just giving him the verbal affectation that he never speaks in conjunctive words. He does, and he doesn't understand metaphor or symbolism. And they just say that his race, his species, is like they just don't understand the symbolism and metaphor. They just keep things quite literal. And then that makes every single line he says afterwards pure comic gold, just because like it's not like a weird thing. You're like, why does he say it like that? No, they just go like that's what Drax does. That's what he does. And we already have Groot in the background. So once you've been introduced to Groot, if we introduced to Drax before Groot, then it would have seemed weird because just with Groot, you kind of go like, I just accept that guy only says 3 words. Yeah. And then Drax says way too many words for him trying to do this multiple things.
The one character that's slightly annoying, but I think it's because she's becoming Gamora as I know her in the comics. Gamora as I know her in the comics is regal, like a moving statue. She has a little bit of a sense of humour, but she's hardcore. This Gamora, hardcore, tough fighter, but human.
Yeah,
there was an emotional range that the comic book character has yet aspires to.
Well, that has still attained losing the programming of actually like all the time of Thanos' assassin child.
It could be dealing with all that trouble that's made her more human, but the Gamora in the comics has the light, but is really just kick-ass. You know, her and Drax would be more on a par opposed to her and Quill. In the comics.
Yeah, no.
Quill and Raccoon are more on a par in the comics.
Yeah. And as he's thinking about with Gamora and Drax, they are very, very opposing to each other the entire way through this film. Yeah. There's a good few gag moments that they have back and forth between each other. And like their first confrontation is how Drax is brought into the story as well. Yeah. Gamora is softened so quickly in that movie, and like I said, Quill and Gamora to me came off as the lighter character, or not even lighter, but the not as interesting characters, but the people who have to push the plot, have to progress everything, because everybody else kind of travels along with them.
They're sort of our window into the other characters almost, which is fine for Quill, but for Gamora I was expecting something harder. But it's a small quibble.
I guess, do you think they transposed some of that over to Nebula a bit more?
I wish we'd had more Nebula. I'd have liked more Nebula.
It feels like, actually, like just watching the movie, it feels like there was more, but they kind of like the character, they took more of a backseat, because how many characters were you introduced to in that movie? I mean, somebody had actually like people were pulled back a bit. And if Nebula made it out perfectly fine, so we're going to see more of her.
Oh yeah, she's definitely. Now I don't know if she's going to go back to Thanos or what she's going to do, because
I think about like, her exiting line of the movie. Well, before there was a guy in the ship, takes the ship. It was like, you're both crazy. Yeah. Now she refers to both Thanos, Ronan, and Gamora. Like you're all crazy.
Yeah. You want to save him. You want to kill everyone. You want to stop him. I just want Thanos dead. It's the only sane response. I can sort of get that.
Did Nebula, because I know Gamora, because she was villainess turned hero, maybe villainess again, moral ambiguity. Has Nebula ever done a heel face turn?
Not in my knowledge.
Yeah, no, but I can't think about it. As characters, always a villainess.
Yeah, Nebula's one of those sort of cold characters. She
doesn't care about anybody. Well, also the fact that she's not really got a human heart really anymore, because we see how much damage she took in that movie.
She seemed to have Kree physiology. Do you think that's her? Before Thanos got to her, she might have been Kree.
She was Kree. Well, I mean,
my Nebula knowledge is actually limited.
Yeah, well, I mean, I honestly think that she actually was Kree, because she looks, it's a Kree basis underneath all the modifications and everything being under. Same way, like a Necromorph or whatever. Yeah. What was the name of the guy who Quill meets? Is the first character he meets whenever he actually do that open scene, the one that's a Ronan's kind of like an assistant?
Oh God, I can't remember his name.
I honestly, in fact, he had a lot of prevalence in this movie, even though you see him taken out in the film, so it's like...
Effectively, they gave him a name, but technically he could have just been speaking lackey.
Yeah, speaking lackey. In this
well
movie,
delivered, very well acted character. My favourite bit is when he's handing the hammer over to Ronan while Ronan's got the started crying. Oh God, no. Why did I have to?
It's like he's like leaning away. He's like, I don't know what. Everybody understands and fears the Infinity Stone, and I imagine that he's a named character in the comics that actually has more relevance, but again, in this he is a number one speaking lackey role.
Yeah.
Which is weird because we already have Gamora and Nebula, and then him, which is actually a direct role, like he reports to Ronan directly.
Oh, I quite like Nebula because though her allegiances seem to be whoever will make my goals the closest. Yeah.
It was that one line that whenever Thanos is finished talking to Ronan, she says, "Thank you, Father," and that's it. That seems fair enough. He gets up and walks away. Like these guys just say, like, "Kill him." Nah, I don't care. I really don't care. Yeah. That sounds fair, Father. And literally walks off for him.
Yeah. You're not winning this one, sunshine.
Yeah.
Just keeps moving.
Pick your fights.
There was the bit whenever she storms out, you know, when they're towards the end and they're bringing the security blanket down over Ronan, and she storms out. That's her Amy Pond walk.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's the Amy Pond walk. She does that sort of stompy turn. That's that exact walk.
Turn and then walk away.
Yeah.
On like a militaristic kind of
I felt like screaming at the screen, "You're still Scottish, woman!" So Scottish.
Intergalactic Scots. It's actually more well known than Ulster Scots.
Yeah, I don't.
Intergalactic Scots. It's just in the physical demeanour. It's a physical language.
Yeah. It might just be how she
my
walks. She's it was brilliant. I have to say the finale in this one trumps, hands down, beats the Avengers.
Yeah, I mean
finale
for scale and actually for direct relevance to the rest of the world, and actually does take out a villain.
Yeah.
I mean we're well in the spoiler territory all the time we're being chatted with this.
Yeah.
Ronan's gone. Ronan the Accuser. Ronan is still around in the comics as far as I know. Like nobody's managed to kill him.
The thing is, in the comics, I don't know how much you know about the Kree mythology.
Yeah, well, Ronan the Accuser, it's a role given.
A rank.
Yeah, it's a rank.
A rank.
The Accuser.
And the Accuser works for the Supreme Intelligence, which is the pooling of all Kree minds into one super intelligence.
I know that.
Good. So yeah, it doesn't matter. We can keep killing them till dawn. Someone will keep making the boys.
There'll always be a Ronan.
I'm interested to see if they bring the super intelligence in.
That's probably going to be a couple of weeks from now if they're going to do Miss Marvel.
I'd love, oh please give me Carol Danvers. Carol Danvers in the red battle suit, ready to kill.
Well, the red and blue one?
Yeah, the 1 second.
Easy reference, he does have the image. Also, I can put it up on the screen. Did you realise that?
Carol Danvers.
That one.
Ladies and gentlemen, the beautiful, amazing, crazy jet pilot turned superhuman.
Carol Danvers originally was a reporter. At one point,
She got to be a jet pilot though.
Oh no, I mean like the actual, like the version that we all know and actually is being canon. But I think her original introduction might have been as a reporter.
Could be.
And like a slight Lewis Lane surrogate style thing. But that's in this story of Captain Marvel.
I know Marvel probably have their own plan for their first main female lead role superhero. It should be her.
Yeah, no,
it should be her.
Who is it going to be otherwise? Out of the Marvel continuity? That's right. I mean, Black Widow might. I honestly still think that Black Widow and Hawkeye should get a solo spy movie.
Yeah. Well, Captain America 2 was a very good super spy movie. Very good. It's up on my favourites of the Marvel. Guardians of the Galaxy, the first Thor was awesome.
Yes.
Captain America 2, Iron Man 2 I liked. I wasn't as fussed on Iron Man 3. It was doing too much.
Well, I actually like Iron Man 3 because it ties a lot of things together, but I honestly think that there was like too many turns in it.
Yeah, it was very good at dealing with the trauma of that event where he pretty much died.
Yeah.
Died. Yeah. If you need the Hulk to apply CPR, you're gone.
That's the thing. That was the biggest kind of it was a tease of the next one thing going like, oh, I know what's going to happen in the end of this movie. Because we've already seen whenever Thor hits him with lightning, it powers up the armor, and then of course we're going to have Thor lightning at the end, and then call down the thunder, and he'll light strike the Iron Man, and Iron Man will get back up again. No, instead, Hulk screams at him until he wakes up.
Yeah.
Because like, I still thought Thor was going to be the one to catch him as well, because I saw Thor like winding up this floor up there, and then Hulk out of nowhere grabbed it. Because otherwise the Hulk has very, very little to do other than smash in that entire movie.
Well, that's literally the Hulk you point at things.
That they say it in the movie. It's like, I go through everything, Hulk, smash.
You know what I just realised?
What?
I don't think in the comics Thanos and Hulk have went mano a mano. If they have, it's a long time ago. It's not recent history.
I think one of the things, but can I walk into spoiler territory for what's going to happen?
Yeah, totally.
Have you heard the talk about actually them doing another Hulk movie?
They're talking possibly about your man Ruffalo.
Oh, we're no man Ruffalo's like he is now Hulk to me. Like, fuck Edward Norton. I didn't like Edward Norton's Hulk.
No,
I didn't like his banner. I didn't really like that Hulk movie that much. I still think Eric Bana was an amazing banner.
I'm not as well. He was good, but he was too good looking. I keep wondering what was wrong with Steve Buscemi at that stage. Even the Ultimates, Mark Miller was sitting there writing him in as a joke.
Steve Buscemi. This is kind of true. I mean, the banner should be Buscemi. He should be Buscemi. I could see Buscemi eyes turning green and then zooming out and then being the Hulk face. But Mark Ruffalo's face, whenever they actually make him into the Hulk, fits the Hulk head.
What I also like is Mark Ruffalo fits into that small guy, sort of, very smart, but sort of, not powerful.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
they doesn't want power, and they never wanted power, and never no sense of actually direct charisma, but he's not intelligent enough to know to. Essentially, right. They've announced that they're not announced. We're rumoured, and there's talk about doing a Hulk movie. They haven't given a title. They haven't actually reserved a title or anything else. But there's a very high chance, because we're going to have Age of Ultron. Pretty much the joke line in Avengers was, we have a Hulk.
Yeah.
You have to get rid of Hulk to actually be able to put peril. If you're going to have a single villain, if you have Hulk run at a single villain,
Ultron can take the Hulk.
Yeah, I know.
Yes. As long as he cheats.
But that's what I'm saying. Essentially what I always thought would happen with the first Avengers movie is that they were redoing the Ultimates versus the Chitauri.
Yeah.
And do you remember how that ended? Because they had Banner in control of the Hulk, and then he burned through the serum he was in the system, and then Hulk just went on a rampage, and then the Avengers just have to fight the Hulk at the end of that. I could see this very much being the case for the second one, where the Ultron is powerful enough and they essentially just takes the Hulk for a ride. Essentially just pops on in his ear, fucks with him, or like the same way they try and do the Banner in control of the Hulk, and there's actually a real understanding, and it goes harder on, and we get a rampaging Hulk, and then that does more damage than the entire thing happened with Ultron in the first place. That's what I could see happening, and what they will do to him afterwards. Take a wild guess what they do to the Hulk, and what they did do to him in the comics.
Wow.
Fuck him into space.
Yeah.
And we end up with World War Hulk as actually being the Hulk movie.
The Hulk does not take being betrayed well.
No, oh dear
And he
God.
comes back so much tougher than when he left.
Yeah. Because he's literally on a planet of things that can actually hurt him.
Yeah, that was fun.
And we've already seen Sakaar. No, that's something that actually annoyed me about this. They said Sakarans that were on the ship.
Yeah.
We saw Sakarans. Sakarans are the rock people, aren't they? They're the ones that the Warborn that actually are on Hulk's side.
Warbound.
Because you see them in one of the fights in Thor. Thor takes out one of the guys, and it's like a walk.
Oh no! You're thinking the Sakarans are a different thing. That the rock people are a separate. The Sakarans are the grey silvery ones.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Then there's the red ones, and then there's those big sort of thing-looking.
Yeah, the big rock guys.
Yeah, that's that.
That's what I thought. All right,
they're not Sakaran.
Right. So we've already seen, but that's the thing because Thor gave us already saying Asgardians are space people.
Yeah, they're gods. They exist in a different sort of dimensional plane, but they exist in the intergalactic sort of setup.
So we've actually seen races in that we saw that rock people that one that would appear in World War Hulk, or not in World War Hulk. But what was that? Planet Hulk. Sorry, I'm thinking World War Hulk after Planet Hulk.
Yeah.
But Planet Hulk, we saw those characters end up. We've seen that race and we've seen that species before in the Thor movies.
Yeah.
We've built the universe and we actually have the intergalactic characters now. We have the Asgardians who we can easily turn around and assume actually will exist within the same world. Especially they're not going to talk about dimensional planes. Essentially, the Asgardians are just on the far end of the galaxy.
Yeah. They've made their world so awesome, it's hyper awesome. It's a floating island with water pouring off it as a planet. And you're just going, well,
Where does the water come from? It's just a
when magic meets science.
Yeah, exactly.
Logic no longer matters.
What we call magic, you would call science. And actually explain like fucking.
It's just so far ahead that we don't need to care about physics.
The law of logical return, or actually like whatever, what's that whole thing about alchemy where it's like, the conservation of energy and you have to break someone down to actually make someone else. Like, no, they don't care about that. We have replicators. That kind of level of science.
It does not matter. The thing I loved is they introduced Thor does exist in the intergalactic community because they dropped off the big thing from Thor 2 to the Collector.
Yes, and that's our major link. We have they went to the Collector, and it was Sith and
was it the rest of the Warriors 3?
It wasn't the Warriors 3. It was one of the Warriors 3 and Sith that went to the Collector.
Oh, the blonde one.
Yeah, the blonde one. Balador or
Aye, pretty boy.
Yeah, the one they replaced.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't. It's like, oh, is that the same guy? Like, no, that's not the same actor. They replaced the actor for the actor.
This one is better. I can see why they changed him over.
Exactly. They had Seth and him, so we know that they exist within the same existence, timeline, place, and location, because that's how we got introduced to the Collector. Speaking of which, the Collector. We saw his collection and we saw bits and pieces sitting in the background. You told me about this earlier on. I looked at Cosmo the Space Dog and I thought it was actually a reference to We 3.
No, We 3 is Vertigo, which is DC.
Oh, there you go. That'd be the reason why I'm not making any
Grant
sense.
Morrison wasn't allowed near Marvel.
Well, I can understand why.
Grant Morrison wasn't allowed near most DC titles for a while.
Yeah,
he had to be very good with the Justice League for many, many years before they gave him Batman. And what's the first thing he does? Kills him.
That's Morrison, man. What are you going to question about it?
Twice. Once in the main series and then in Final Crisis.
We're going to bury you twice.
I'm going to bury you twice and then I'm bringing you back.
Through time.
Because we actually killed, about 4 different clones. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I will write the ending when we get to the final comic. I am not plotting this out beforehand.
I'm working it out by feel.
Yeah, it's like how he finished the Animal Man run.
No, man, yeah.
Anyway, we're going well off subject. Anyway, no, that's the first cosmonaut dog.
Yes.
He's part of the comic book Guardians of the Galaxy mythology. He ends up running nowhere.
Which is where he's actually entrapped into one of the Collectors.
Yeah. He's actually intelligent in the comics, but whether they bother doing that or just have him as a cute wee thing.
Yeah, he is a cute dog. I mean, that was a nice little raccoon and dog having ground at each other as they went past, but I mean, they had to go into all the detail, but I suppose since we're talking about the Collector, we have to talk about the post-credit sequence.
Marvel just trolled your ass.
Yeah, I mean, we were all expecting someone important. No, it's literally Marvel just doing the woo victory lap.
Yeah, pretty much going, and now we can just fuck with you.
Yeah, now we can imply Howard the Duck was in canon. Nobody wants this. Nobody wants this. But we're still going to do it.
Like Howard the Duck.
You really like Howard the Duck movie?
Oh, no, I've never watched Howard the Duck movie.
You've never seen it?
No.
Oh, man, that would be so good for a riff track.
I saw the preview. I am not watching that.
There's like some really, really dodgy miniature effects and stuff in it, and there's implied duck sex, and I mean,
well, the comics did it.
I mean, that's one of the things where it's a little bit creepy or whatever. It's an animatronic duck head. And whenever he gets aroused, is like the frill on top of it, like
yeah, maybe Disney had a point trying to sue Marvel over that one.
Yeah, well, he is a duck who wears clothing and doesn't wear any pants.
Yeah. Well, anyway, the Howard the Duck. Yeah, that was entertaining. The thing is, and we need to freeze frame double confirm this. I've seen rumors in the internet. You've heard of one of the characters who's involved in the Infinity Quest.
Warlock.
Yeah. Apparently his cocoon that he uses to regenerate is in the Collector's.
Oh, I did see it in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that is there, dude. Yeah. Because I spent the entire screen. This is your fourth, my second. And I actually did spend, as soon as the collector scene opened, like glasses on, I sat there and like, I'm not paying attention to any of the story. I want to see everything in the background. I was like trying to, what I was actually looking for was actually see the fucking little red cube gem thing from Thor 2. I wanted to see if it was being shown somewhere. But I saw, did you also notice, I think I saw an alien egg in there as well?
Yeah. I think they just put stuff in for fun.
Oh yeah, no, there's like stuff going in there for fun. But I mean, I did see that and I actually recognized it. Yeah, no, introducing Warlock will be awesome. But I mean, you're gonna probably rotate around because Thanos is not going to be around until at least Avengers 3.
I reckon Thanos will be a bit of a bigger part in the sequel, Guardians of the Galaxy, but I think they're going to get a bit more into the galaxy itself. This was the Kree having issues with the Nova Corps. Mm-hmm. I didn't know the Nova ever had an empire.
No,
in the comics, they're the Green Lanterns for the Marvel universe.
Yeah, and I honestly think that I think this is setting up like an actual character Nova because you saw how many of them fucking died. Yeah. The Nova Corps is decimated. I mean, this is like Emerald Knight kind of shit. Like this is like whenever Hal Jordan lost his shit, kind of like took them out.
Well, then again, these are just the boys on the headquarters base.
Yeah, but I mean, how many?
It was a lot of damage.
That's a lot of people.
But they now have an Infinity Stone.
Yeah, and
that evens things.
But they have that locked away. So that's the thing. Color is very relevant to which Infinity Stone is which. Which one is the purple one? Is that Soul?
I can't remember. I can't. I sort of have followed the Infinity Gem stuff, but always get them mixed up in my head.
Well, the only reason why I always remember, is because I remember Warlock has the one on his forehead, which is the Soul Gem, which is green actually. So I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Soul is green. Purple is space.
Could be. Sounds about right.
Red is life. It's really hard to remember. I mean, don't go to. We're going non-computer today. We are going with what knowledge we got. If we want if we want liner notes underneath, we'll actually like put subtitles.
All right, fair enough. We text with what that equals that thing.
Anyone going to be annotating the shit out of this as well? Because how many characters we've already mentioned that are not even relevant to the movie that we're talking about? We're like, oh, none. Would you like to know more? We're turning this into a Verhoeven PSA. You do that, I'm going to track your hands in the video and actually brain stuff around you. I've been playing way too much with 3D elements.
Quite frankly, this is an awesome movie, and what it's done is it's really sealed the Marvel phase as a concept. Because we had, the run-up to Avengers was brilliant. The fans are completely, all comic book guys who like the Avengers are into that sort of stuff, were sold by the time we got to Avengers and we went, holy crap, they can do this.
It all built up to that single panning shot of all the Avengers like rioting themselves, pan around and going, I'm done. I don't care what the fuck happens to the rest of this movie.
They even managed to have them all interacting in fight sequences, passing each other, fighting together and stuff. Brilliant. That sold the fans in the concept. Iron Man 3 was great. As a character breakdown of Tony Stark and some of the neuroses
still hasn't managed to talk about his alcoholism.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I think.
He's white knuckle sober.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. White knuckle. Well, I honestly think white knuckle even because the one thing I was worried about, concerned about is the fact that he wrote out and finished off that he has panic attacks and stuff are kept settling down now, and he actually he knows who he is. I'm sitting looking at him going that was your perfect lead into the alcoholism. That was a perfect lead into because they actually had him drinking this fucking juice stuff instead, and they're going no, you had the perfect lead in to actually have him honestly just the only reason why I can function is because I fucked up. They missed their gap on that one because they wanted to round out the character, especially with Downey Jr. and they didn't know if he was going to come back.
Yeah. I still don't know what the score is with Avengers 2. Is he in it as Iron Man?
He's probably going to end up being a consultant to S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
But I'm very, very likely we're going to see Rhodey actually play
War Machine, full War Machine game.
No more Iron Patriot. I do not want to see Iron Patriot ever again. The thing is, as soon as I heard Iron Patriot, I was going fuck you.
What? Osborn?
Yeah.
I was literally going, what is this? The Siege?
Exactly. Oh god. I was going
how did you manage to wrestle that away from Sony? Are they literally going, wait, hold on, no, we get confused between Spider-Man and Avengers, and I can't tell the difference between movie, right? Norman Osborn was the Iron Patriot. How did you?
Yes. Such a, it's one thing we're going, it would be so much better if, like, whenever I heard that they were going to have the Iron Patriot in the movie, I was going, they're getting rid of Rhodey? Because in my head I was going, that'd be fucking hilarious if, like, industrialist Norman Osborn shows up and actually a replacement for Iron Man because he's starting to fail doing his job. And I was going, this would be fucking brilliant because that'll essentially lead into Osborn showing up and actually, because that's the thing, we're going to walk into the Avengers now. There's no S.H.I.E.L.D. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has actually, like, disbanded the
no, Series 2 is on. Lucy Lawless. Lucy's in Season 2. My Lucy.
Is she,
we have no idea. I reckon they might have her as Madame Hydra. That would be my top pick. If you had Lucy Lawless, Madame Hydra.
I was exactly what I was saying. Exactly. Like, make her the head of Hydra. Because we got Barbara Strucker at the end of Captain America 2.
Oh, I love that movie. Awesome. Right, okay. Iron Man 3 was great. I had problems with it, which meant it's not my favourite Marvel movie, but it was great. Captain America 2 is epically good fun. Yeah. But serious good fun. You know, some of the other ones are lighter. This one really, the Captain America movies seem to be the really serious core.
Well, yeah, the serious core, especially because they're doing historical kind of reenactment, because they have to actually be very respectful of actually militaria as well. So a lot of people are going to go, no, that's fucking untrue.
Yeah.
But the second movie kind of really dealt with a modern spy, because the previous one was like a historical hero. This one is modern spycraft, because modern spycraft is dark, backstabbing shit. And in fact, even Black Widow, at the end of that, kind of goes like, I'm going to keep doing what I do.
Yeah.
That's it. You know where to find me. And then walks out of a fucking prosecution. And what do you call that whenever they actually like sit down and have a discussion afterwards?
That's congressional hearing.
Walks out of a congressional hearing, just say, you know where to find me. You're a fucking Russian spy who works with the American government. Of course you know where you are. But the same time is, you don't walk out of a congressional meeting and have
Howard Hughes managed it in the 40s.
Okay.
Howard Hughes did it.
He just like up and
in between OCD attacks, he just literally went. It was done in the Aviator. Now it was movied up for the Aviator, but that was pretty much he just faced down a congressional hearing.
Okay. Oh, we have precedents.
Yeah, it can be done. You can mess with them. It's like a court. If you can be smarter than the prosecution, you can walk out free.
And she did. Well, I mean, because the only thing is that whole tail end of the Captain America 2, S.H.I.E.L.D. is screwed over. S.H.I.E.L.D. is gone. S.H.I.E.L.D. is fucked. Most of the staff from S.H.I.E.L.D. now work for Stark. Because we set up with Colby Smulders playing, joining in with Stark Industries. Stark Industries, I could see Stark creating his own shield.
Well, that's sort of what happened in the comics a bit.
Yes.
But,
that was actually during Extremis and stuff. It was actually, he was running the whole job.
I have to say, Guardians of the Galaxy was the best one. Guardians of the Galaxy will have convinced non-fans. This is the one people who are fans will have watched with people who are not fans, and people who are not fans will went, this is epically good fun!
Yeah.
It was a fun. Classic space opera.
Yeah, and actually, we haven't even touched on the actual production side of it. Do you know who James Gunn, do you ever watch any of James Gunn's older stuff? Do you know who he is?
I've heard the name, I know he's a good director.
Do you know what it was he did?
No.
He started his career on Tromaville. He did like...
that explains this piss taking.
Yeah, man, we got like, I was going like, it's James Gunn. Oh, this is going to be good. That's what I mean, that humour, that kind of like, and also very comfortable continuity. Yeah. Tromaville was all in continuity with itself. So, like, his like going, I've been doing this for years. You know, like you think this is a big experiment. I've been doing it in B movies for a long, long time. I'd be so happy if just like they had a mop in the background and just happened to be Toxies. You know, just because.
I think compared to the Tromavilles, the only story that's been running as long and in proper continuity is Judge Dredd.
Oh, well, yeah, actually, yeah. The Tromaville movies and film and Dredd is the only one that actually like kept continuity and actually like real time almost.
Because Dredd's age, the amount of years he's existed in real time is the amount he's aged in the comics.
He's had Rejuve so many times.
Once.
He had Rejuve after Necropolis and he had Rejuve after the Pit.
After the Pit?
Yeah.
Did he Rejuve after the Pit?
Yeah, he had Rejuve after the Pit, as far as I can remember.
It wasn't in the Pit graphic.
Well, I mean, that's what I mean, it was after, but whenever he like came out of the Pit, he got fucked up with it, and we tell him that they're not.
No, he got more messed up at the end of the Black Sabbath run.
Alright.
Yeah.
I mean, that's showing my lack. I mean, I took a gap from 2000 AD for years, like.
Ditto. But anyway, yeah. No.
We digress. So like I said, again, annotations.
Yeah. Guardians of the Galaxy is an amazing movie. We haven't focused that much on the prison sequence.
Oh yeah.
Which I liked.
It's called. What is it called again? It's
The
kiln.
The kiln.
Yeah, I like that idea as well. It's like you're forged in the kiln. But that, all the bits and pieces actually shown in the kiln, because that's like, they were saying like these are the corrupt Nova Corps, and like, well, I mean we've shown them so far as actually being really, really fucking good people. The corrupt side of the Nova Corps.
Yeah.
Because I mean within any police force, I'm sure it's going to happen.
Well, that is very true. And plus, it's a common movie myth about prisons where all the guards are sadistic and cruel. In real prisons, that's not a good survival strategy. You know what happened in the Shawshank Redemption, where the big nasty guard was the longest serving officer and no one would touch him? The first riot in an actual prison, they aim for the sadist.
Yep.
He's no survival skills. They'll still fuck over the good guard, but you'll walk out of the place at the end of the day.
Oh yeah, no, you'll probably get fucked up and then locked in one of the cells. The other guy, he's not making it out of the locker room.
No, he's getting raped and then killed and then maybe eaten.
Maybe again, like just because you mean if you got the time.
Yeah, if you've got the time.
If you got the time, you do it twice.
So pro tip, kids, if you're going to be a prison guard, don't be a cock about it.
Be a dick about it.
Don't be a cock. Be good with the rules, fair but fair, don't be a sadist.
Like the guy from The Green Man.
Yeah, perfect. Tom Hanks is your role model in this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Be Tom Hanks. That should be a pro tip for life. Be Tom Hanks. You don't have to be an actor, because be generally nice to people.
Everybody in the world should be just that. If everybody was Tom Hanks, we'd make it so much better.
We'd say Jimmy Stewart, but everyone knows Tom Hanks now.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's a generational thing, isn't it?
Yeah. We had Jimmy Stewart, now we have Tom Hanks for it.
I have to tell you, I'm Jimmy Stewart. Guardians of the Galaxy prison scene. That was a perfect example of like showing. Like, I mean, they kind of had given Gamora's background. They showed her context in the rest of the world very comfortably. We maybe got introduced to Drax, who we obviously know was going to be in jail. Like, we was place for him to be because he's a lunatic. And then we had the escape sequence where Rocket is actually like explaining his escape plans, and Groot fucks it up immediately. He's like going like, oh.
You need that.
I need that. Yeah, I'll get it.
There you go.
Because it's actually the thing, while Rocket is trying to explain why that has to be done last, Groot is actually like already wandered off. He's like 20 feet up, and he's like in the most armored place, thump, and it's like he just pulled up the panel and knocked somebody out.
It is beautiful comedy timing. What I also like is before the prison sequence, they were just characters. Whenever the prison sequence is ending, even though they were a broken and fragile team, getting out of prison, they were suddenly a team of a type.
Well, they were thrust together.
Yeah.
I mean, that entire scene really pulls me out. Especially like even whenever Groot has already fucked it. Even Groot, he didn't fuck it up, but he made the plan have to be accelerated. And Rocket's actually climbing up and going, how am I going to fight these guys? Like, Drax provides him with a weapon.
Yeah.
It's like, why? Like, he had no reason or context to do so, but he's just thinking about little furry friend or little furry thing.
No, little creepy thing.
Little creepy furry.
Little creepy furry thing. Yeah. Literally, because I think just Drax likes that sort of thing.
Hey, well, the joy of actually like going straight to violence. He was giggling and cheering as he tackled people to the floor. What makes me wonder? So it was like that whole scene with Batista as well. You got to see Batista's physicality, like jumping up and doing double kicks to take people down. He essentially just went into like combat mode. Yeah. It was so good to watch.
I was looking at that and I was literally going, oh my god, can you imagine if you had to fight that fucker? He used to be in UFC, wasn't he?
Batista was UFC, then WWF.
Fuck, he must have been deadly. Well, wrestling wouldn't have been as bad because wrestling is less real. But UFC, oh no, I don't.
Is that one bit where the guy walks over and just punches him in the face and he just doesn't move and like turns around to him? He just like smashes the guy. Oh yeah, he takes the guy out with an elbow swing as well. He doesn't even like go punch him. He actually like breaks the other guy and then turns around and throws an elbow into his face as well.
Drax. I thought it was a headbutt.
Did he headbutt him in
I thought it was a.
Oh, she dropped the head into him. I just saw an elbow going up and around, so I thought it was actually taking him out with an elbow strike.
Could have been both.
Well, flying me.
I did like they showed Gamora's hyper abilities in a fight sequence where she just tore through those guards. And that's good, because when you see her and Nebula against each other, you just go, it's just two chicks. Yeah, they're evenly matched. Seeing her running through, ordinary folk is like, hot knife through butter.
Yeah, no, that's because she is a modified super soldier. The fact they had to get the guard things, I'll find a way. It just snaps his arm.
Pretty much sure she took that off the elbow joint and then pulled the other bit off.
In her own time.
You have that.
I was honestly expecting her to just throw the arm and then Rocket Dash, you going, He's throwing it to the side. A bit of a fumble out of it as well. Yeah. I think that might have been actually one of the more grotesque versions of that scene. It's like, God, disgusting humans. Well, that's one thing. The humanoids actually in Guardians of the Galaxy, Rocket refers to them as humans, so I'm assuming he actually refers as humanoids in general. And he's bipedal creature.
If you remember the end of Avengers, humans were announced to the universe through the conflict with the Chitauri and the whole Loki working with Thanos, because that was literally them going, now the universe knows of you. You're now ready to play with the big boys as far as
what it is, yeah.
So they're literally going, this human, and that's because they're now known.
Yeah.
They are, that shit spreads.
Yeah, because they were Terrans, so referred to them as Terrans. Terrans,
the Earther, all that sort of stuff.
Well, I mean, that's something I wanted to talk about. Peter Quill's lineage.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm assuming.
I know. Peter.
When I was watching that, they say like he bring him to his father and whatever else. And to me, that was like going, are they lifting Corsair's story from the Starjammers?
No, I know exactly what they're lifting.
Oh, so
no, Peter Quill. Right, what happened is a member of the Spartax royal family.
Okay. The
Spartax Empire is massive.
Okay.
Ancient and not that nice.
Okay. Well, with the name Spartax, I'm saying like one step off from Sparta.
It's pretty much that sort of
mythology.
One of their young princes ends up crashing landing on Earth and meets up with a pretty lady, and while he's fixing his spaceship, they get a banging.
Yes, they got a banging.
He then leaves to continue to fight a war they were having, possibly with the Badoon.
Okay, Badoon. I remember Badoon.
Yeah, they sort
of annotation for all those who are actually not aware.
They end up doing a lot of stuff for Thanos. Mainly because they're not that well organised. It's not like the Skrull, the Kree, the Spartax, the Nova Corps, who all have their own ethos and stuff. The Badoon doesn't do shit.
Mercenaries by nature.
Pretty much. He then returns. He's meant to come back to her, but he finds out she's dead and thinks his son's been killed, and the son ends up having all these adventures growing up in space, as is shown in the sort of movie. I don't know if it's necessarily with the Ravagers. It could be. There could have been reboots in between. The comics tend to change some things and continue to every now and then.
The movie continuities have actually been, so far they've actually been very, very glancing to a lot of the stories of characters. So we just said like this is like their way of compiling it together.
Mainly because they I don't blame them this. On half of them they're going, so you've 10 background stories for one character.
Well, it's like the Joker. You never really kind of settle on one.
Yes, but that's because the Joker lies about it all the time. The Joker once told 5 different stories in one comic book.
Yes, again, still the movie that he appeared in at the same time.
At one point in one of the recent ones, they've decided to reveal that his story, the most told.
Yeah, which is the comedian.
Which is the one, the comedian with the wife, the one that they sort of riffed on when he's got the blade to your woman's face.
And it was actually
in the movie
Batman Confidential, I think, actually really detailed on that.
Yeah, that's a lie.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Who knows?
Who cares? Who cares? The Joker does it well.
Who's Jack Napier? Don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly.
Anyway, so yes, he then ends up becoming the emperor of the Spartax Empire,
Okay.
and then Peter Quill eventually finds out he's a son, blah blah blah, and things sort of devolve from there, because Peter likes his father the same way we like falling off cliffs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
it's yes, I understand gravity is part of life, however I'd rather ignore it and do nothing at once.
So pretty much, I mean, no matter what he's a bit of a strange for the father, even in the comics still.
In the comics, the father actually got to the point of trying to kill him.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean that, but that's a Spartaxy kind of thing.
Sparked a rebellion. He's no longer emperor.
Is Peter Quill the emperor?
No, Peter Quill does no interest in ruling anything.
I don't care.
The thing is, people were talking about, oh, maybe his father's Adam Warlock. Because of the angel from the sky filled with light.
Yeah.
That's just a woman on a lot of drugs, because she's in final terminal stage cancer, talking about some good sex.
Well, I mean, probably would be in the light at the end.
If you give me enough painkillers, I will describe my last sexual experience like speaking unto God herself.
What, did you have sex with Alanis Morissette?
With enough drugs, I think I have.
That's who God is to me, Alanis Morissette. Thank you, Kevin Smith.
Oh dear. But yeah, But the thing is, Adam Warlock would not send Ravagers
No,
to
go
pick him up.
No.
That is the sort of dick move that the Emperor, the Spartax Emperor will pull.
It's like, just go pick him up.
Jason is his name.
Alright, cool, there we go.
Finally. Yeah.
So speaking of the Ravagers, Michael Rooker was fucking amazing in this film.
Oh, he's always great at that type of character.
He's a great hard ass, he's a great asshole, he's a great mean motherfucker.
Yeah, with a sort of good side to him at times.
No matter what, I like him in Slither and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
He was an abhorrent human being, but he was doing it for things for a reason.
Yeah.
But Unta or whatever the character name is in Guardians of the Galaxy, do you know more about that weapon he's carrying?
They've made that for that movie.
Really?
I think so. I'll have to double check.
This is one of the things we're going I want to know more, I want to go and find it if I do, because it made him an absolute fucking badass.
Did you notice when he was using it, the thing in his head is dull, but when he's using it, it's lit up.
Yeah,
so that's wired in.
Yeah, it's wired in, it's part of his skull, and I think it gives him that awesome mohawk look.
Yeah,
but he is Kree.
Possibly Kree. Yeah, I'd say Kree.
I'd say he's actually essentially a degenerate Kree.
Yeah.
And I've got being modified for war and whatever else. He reminds me a while of a Rogue Trooper.
Any blue guy reminds people of Rogue Trooper.
I know, but I mean specifically, Michael Rooker kind of has a war torn do you imagine one of the chips inside his suit and his gear actually would be Michael Rooker's chip? He pops it on the back of his head. He's actually the gunner or something,
The gunner would be about right for Michael Rooker.
Yeah. Gunner would be Michael Rooker.
Yeah.
The character Mashir is probably going to make more relevance in Guardians 2. No matter what, he's going to be hunting Peter Quill from now to the end of days or whatever else. Or they've actually tied it off at the end with that little kind of little gift that he gets in his hand, going you stupid little kid.
Thank you, Troll.
Troll.
That'll make up for an Infinity Stone.
Well, I mean, it's like $4 billion.
The problem is, if Peter Quill decides to find out who's my father, he has to go through the Ravagers.
That's true, so he has to go back to them anyway, no matter what. But you saw the look on his face at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy, whatever way he was given direction. That was he's just like, what? I'm not human. And then and then we just drop it, and then go, oh, we got new shit.
Something older. The thing is, I don't know. Nova Corps, I don't think are aware of they're aware of the Spartax Empire.
Mm-hmm.
But Spartax Empire, before the whole Builders mess, that's Infinity stuff, were some of the best armed guys in the galaxy.
Right.
Yeah. The Asgardians were nice to them.
Really? Oh, okay.
I mean, civilly polite. They still looked at them as if, we could just do this, and we'll lose a few guys.
Would
Might
that-
be someone we like.
Could we possibly take the explanation of that weapon that the Ravager has is actually a Spartax weapon? Possibly.
Possibly.
I mean, it's tech, but it's bizarre tech.
Oh yeah, it's nice tech. Yeah, I'd like one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I just whistle around and people die.
It's like sheepdog stuff, but with an
A
indestructible
murderous
arrow.
sheepdog. A murderous arrow sheepdog.
Yeah, but yeah, in the Builders there was a beautiful moment where there was the Council of all the Empires, there was the Supreme Intelligence of the Kree, the latest Commander of the Skrulls, the guys for the Kree, the Badoon for some reason had someone, the Brood have a seat.
A Brood is a council?
Yeah, because they're actually quite a large force if you consider the amount of Brood
it's true.
things lying around. And they're actually quite intelligent.
Yeah, yeah, no, the Brood. I mean, my personal favorite Brood story has always been the Ghost Rider X-Men crossover in New Orleans. That's an amazing fucking Brood story.
And then the Asgardians were represented by Queen Freya. Oh, and who's the X-Men ones?
Chitauri?
No.
Oh, Shi'ar.
Shi'ar, who are now run by the Guardian.
The Guardian runs it?
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, because Vulcan nearly screwed everybody over.
Yeah, so he just took over.
Yeah.
Queen Freya, Odin's wife, now runs them, and she's particularly pleasant to just Emperor Jason. Something along the lines of, "Do you want to push this? I'm being nice."
Back off.
Yeah.
And it's one of those. We actually we've gone past our timeline. I mean, we could sit and stall on this for all day.
Oh yeah.
Then we're done. Let's just do a close off topic thing.
Right. Okay.
So, Guardians of the Galaxy, 9 out of 10 movie to me. I was like one of the best Marvel movies that have actually come out of the continuity. My greatest fear is that we may be hitting that point where we're gonna have issues with some of the movies afterwards. Like this was a great comedy movie. They've shown that they can do any genre as long as they just put their characters into it and they get the right writers and the right production behind it, and it works really well.
Yeah.
We're going to see a failure at some point. I'm making a small prediction. It may be Ant-Man.
Oh yeah, you're reading my mind there, man. Seriously. I
Ant-Man.
don't know what the hell happened that Edgar Wright can complete this, because I can't think of a guy who could. Though the whole Ant-Man 2 people thing was annoying me.
Oh, but actually, like somebody who actually used the pin particles, and then that was done though, because the same guy becomes Goliath, a member of the Thunderbolts, isn't it? That actually was the one who stole Hank Pym's technology as well.
But still, it's a bit.
Yeah, I think
I don't even know why they didn't just, because Hank Pym was first. Yeah, he did the whole Giant Man stuff, but you could easily have retconned him in to the Avengers 2 and simply have him as a dude working for Stark who comes up with a number of different ideas and builds Ultron, a new AI for Stark to run his armour through, and this thing just takes over. That would have been piss easy.
That literally the easiest way to drop the character into that continuity.
No, I can write. But I can see someone who can write and direct making that first 15 minutes of Avengers 2.
Yeah, very, very simply, and with no issues, no concern, not even actually having
no continuity, and then
no way of actually conflicting with anything else and actually making it. In fact, I even thought like the implication they could have done with Hank Pym as Ant-Man was actually have him as like being like
in Avengers 2, he's just a scientist, a consultant who then helps the Avengers actually.
Retroactively apply him into actually Avengers 1.
No.
The events of Avengers 1 was affecting New York City on such a large scale that there was a small hero who did a small bit of deal. I mean, just like saving somebody on a fucking train station or a train collapse or whatever.
Alright.
No matter what, they could actually make a man who didn't want to be a hero but found glory in it and went, I want to keep going trying this. A Booster Goldie kind of thing, because Hank Pym does have that nature in him where he
just likes to make stuff.
Well, he does like to make stuff, but he wants recognition for it as well.
Yeah, he wants recognition. That's why I like the idea of that, him just making things for Stark and then just it almost wiping out the world and then him helping, and that then inspired him to use this unstable particle he's been thinking of to actually become Ant-Man, and that leads then into Ant-Man.
Yep, there we go.
Sorted. I will sell that idea for millions upon millions upon millions of pounds.
Marvel, you heard it here first. You got the man who issues the idea.
Yeah. Or euros. I'm not that greedy.
No. We'll even do dollars. I mean, because the exchange rate's pretty bad.
Yeah. We won't make you go with sterling, okay?
We'll make it easy.
Euros or dollars. None of the Middle East, Eastern bouncy currencies, okay?
We want to go up and down of their own accord.
I'm not even that interested in Chinese money. They're a very strong economy, but still.
A lot of borrowing and inflation going on.
Yeah. And fake gold.
Fake gold.
Yeah. No, seriously, yeah. Whole warehouses of it don't exist.
That's a fiat currency based on even lies.
Yeah, and they don't have as much steel as some of their banks were claiming.
Good lord. And run out still having to reclaim it from other places. Right, so we're getting back in Guardians of the Galaxy. We've got our introduction to the second Infinity Gem. We're looking forward to seeing the Infinity War continue on.
Third Infinity Gem.
Sorry, third Infinity Gem. Oh, because the Tesseract's one.
Yeah, you
yes.
Yeah. I reckon by the end of Phase 3 they'll have all the Infinity Gems.
Then introduced in some manner or form, yes.
Which will be leading on to a big Thanos confrontation, which will be pretty epic. Like he will
trounce all of them and then they'll find a way out.
Yeah, unify together with a number of different attacks, blah blah blah.
The attack from 3 different ways. Actually, I managed to pull one gem from him, Warlock shot out of nowhere and fucking
yeah.
And then they actually like trap him inside one of the gems and no, do you know actually I keep on diverging off point, but it's Thanos. One thing missing from that shot when they had Thanos, where the fuck was the Statue of Death?
In his head.
Oh yeah, we know that. We always think that, but at the same time it's a physical representation, like because it's such an important thing to me of his character.
Yeah, but we haven't explored Thanos as a character yet.
But we haven't. Such a nice touch.
Yeah, it would be, but people are going to go, why is there a Statue of Death behind him? We know he courts it because that was teased at the end of Avengers. But Taxi explained he has death. Now, whether death is just messing with him or it's all in his head, to him it's real.
Well, we accept that.
And death is in love with him. And, well, he's in love with death and death's happy enough. As long as he gives her enough gifts, she won't be pissed at him.
But she's also cheating on him as well.
Yeah, of course.
Deadpool? I mean, every single time he drops by. A bit of nookie time with death. I mean, that's Deadpool knows how to really play it dangerously.
And Deadpool took out an entire Skrull warship without lifting, well, one weapon, but he handed it to a clone of himself. Here, go, be merry. Anyway, Guardians of the Galaxy, brilliant. It's shown that the Marvel Universe can work
on the widest of scales. Taking
inspiration from a comic and working in a one-shot. Because for a while all of a sudden it was, well, this is leading to this one, this one's leading to this one, this one's leading to this one, and I now need to watch how many movies to follow this thing. And all of a sudden Guardians of the Galaxy, and this is why I think it's doing so well, Guardians of the Galaxy shows up and all of a sudden someone who hasn't watched this, if you've not watched any of this stuff or read any of the comics I've talked about, or any of the random politics stuff, you can watch this movie and have fucking kick-ass time.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the most baseline of humour in it is actually hits its mark.
Yeah.
It's well timed. The characters are interesting. Any complaints that I have are because of like things I kind of expected, but they diverge from them. But I mean, that's perfectly fine because this is the first introduction of the character to a wider audience as well.
The slight overhumanization of Gamora annoyed me. However, it works in the movie. I'm sitting there going, that's not the Gamora I know from the comics, but I'm going, in the movie, yeah, perfect. Zoe Saldana was great in that role. She had a good, that was great.
That was great humanity to the character, which is different from what you expected of her, but she brought that to the character.
If I didn't know anything about the comics, I'd be going, nice, brilliant. Because I know the comics, I can sit there and go, I can nerd pick now. But that's being pedantic.
Yeah, and no matter what, that's part of being the comic book nerd. You kind of you take along the history that we read, and we're very valued it. But you know what? That Guardians of the Galaxy, fantastic show. If you haven't seen it, go and see it because it's not going to be in the cinemas forever. I mean, I'd say it's probably got another week really in the play.
A week, maybe 2 at the most, but or 2.
No, we're hitting some of the blockbuster territories and stuff like Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and all this stuff. I mean, it's pulling away from their time actually on the screen.
Yeah, but it's brilliant movie. Brilliant movie. Yeah.
I recommend, guys. Catch you there on. Thanks very much for watching. Listen to us ramble on. Check out all the liner notes and check out all of our other stuff in the channels.
Yeah.
There's Derm.
Deal.
Catch you all later. Safe travels.
Bye.
Give it 2 seconds, and then get off and turn off the camera.